Hello, this is Data Consulting, and today we're going to be doing part 2 of our Beast Mode tutorial series. And for today's series, we're going to be looking at the functions ADDATE and ADDTIME. Starting off, we're going to do ADDATE, so we can go ahead and double click it, and it'll add it to our calculation field. And now we can name our column. I'm going to name it +1 day, because I want to add 1 day onto our date variables. We can go to Columns, double click the date, and we can then add a comma and choose our interval. Now, if you don't realize what I'm doing, you can click on the ADDATE function. It'll tell you exactly what you need. So I need the date column as well as an interval and amount of days to add on to that date. So I'm going to go back to our parentheses, type in interval 1 day. We can then validate. Once it's validated, we can hit create beast mode and then exit out and see it or find it in our beast modes and segments area. We can then drag and drop it into the columns, and we can see our data table update to show the new dates, where it's the original date plus 1 day. So it's pretty easy to comprehend. It goes from 11 to 12, 14 to 15, so you can see how it works. But say we don't want to add 1 day, or we don't want to work in full 24-hour periods. We want to add 12 hours. We want to add 1 hour. We want to add 30 seconds. To do that, we can go back to the Beast Mode editor, go back to the Functions tab, and this time click Add Time. We can name our column +1 hour, since I'm going to be showing you how to add 1 hour onto a date time. And again, we can go to the Columns area, double-click Date to add it into the parentheses, and we can now go back to the Functions, click on Add Time, and we can see that we need the time, which we do have, a comma, and then the amount of seconds. So add time works in seconds. It doesn't work in hours. So if you want to do a full hour, you need to do it in seconds. So for example, we can do comma 3600. Now that's an hour in seconds. We can validate this, create beast mode, exit out, and we can now see that our new function or our new beast mode is here. We can add it to the columns field and see our data table update. And once again, when comparing it to the initial date, we can see that it's changed. And this time, 1 hour has been added on to each of the dates. Now, since we're working with a date and we're moving it to a date time by adding an hour to it, it doesn't look that great, and this isn't really something you would do. But say you had a date time already, or this was a date time column to begin with, and it had hours and seconds and minutes already put in there, it would look a lot better, and it would look not so monotone or uniform throughout the data table. So this is only because we're moving from a date to a date time data type that we get this kind of nice ones all the way down. If we had date time to begin with, it wouldn't be this clean and it would be much harder to follow. But you could still be able to see how 1 hour was added on to the date. Now this has been a very quick tutorial. I hope to make them a bit longer in the future, but thanks again for watching, and I hope this has helped in any way, shape, or form. Thank you.